Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Really just wanted to bring you an update on what happened on this day so that you have all the news that mattered to you throughout history. Amazing to think, isn't it? On August the 5th, way back in 1962, we lost one of the most celebrated people ever. The international sex symbol, actress, and of course icon, right through to the present day, the late and beautiful Marilyn Monroe. Yes, everybody knows her story. We told you recently that Netflix have got a brand new drama popping up all about her life, although it's not based on any true reality. Interesting to note that though. I also think it's such a sad thing, isn't it? Because what's interesting about certain cultural icons is what makes them last the test of time. Marilyn, Frank Sinatra, I would say John Wayne, Marlene Dietrich, there's a few. But then you look at other cultural icons way back, say from the 1920s, like Louise Brooks, Clara Bow, all that sort of thing. What happened to them? Why do people not remember them in the same way? Is it about the movies, the digital age, or does their star simply shine brighter? Sadly, as I say, we all lost and really do miss the talented that was late Marilyn Monroe. But what else happened on August the 5th? Well, over in the White House, the US President and former actor Ronald Reagan, oh yes, he fired more than 11,000 air traffic controllers who were due to strike. Big story that, I do remember that. And of course, Ronald Reagan was incredibly popular over here in the United Kingdom, mainly because of his movie career, but also because he got on incredibly well with the late British Prime Minister, first female Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher. Ronald Reagan is a man that will go down in history, and as I often say here on the show, you don't necessarily need to like their politics, but they are remembered. Now, taking you right back, who does remember Dick Clark's American Bandstand? It was a TV show, oh yes, which basically saw performers lip-sync their latest songs and the teenage audience danced, and began airing on this day way back in the 1950s. I find this incredible because when you think about it, it was simple things, wasn't it, that we all liked. We had a very similar show over here in the United Kingdom, which was called Ready, Steady, Go, and hosted by the beautiful Cathy McGowan, the teenager with the mostest, as she was called at the time. And finally, here's a person who really did know how to escape the clutches of so many things. We're talking about the brilliant and late American magician, Harry Houdini, who did his last stunt on this day. Basically, he stayed underwater in an airtight coffin for some 90 minutes. But he beat his rival magician, Raymond Bay's time of 1 hour. Now, I don't know about you, I was a big fan of Houdini. I remember seeing the show with my friend, or the film, should I say, with my friend, Tony Curtis. Loved it, but that film really wasn't based on fact again. It was a studio's version. And did you know that Harry Houdini was one of the early pioneers of basically reality TV? He filmed a lot of his own movies while on a tour over here in the United Kingdom in places like Hull, Leeds and Bradford, hoping to turn it into some sort of cinematic experience. Sadly, sound hadn't been invented at that point, and people weren't that interested unless he was doing those stunts. And that brings you up to date with some of your culture and what was happening on this day throughout history. Oh, by the way, I must just quickly mention this. Do you look like Prince William? Yes, of course you do. On a serious note, no, the basic thing is this. The Crown, Netflix, are casting around for a 15-year-old person who looks and possibly sounds like the 15-year-old Prince William for their next series of filming. Now, what's interesting here is they're doing an open casting. We often tell you on the show this is a great way of getting publicity for that particular show. I mean, it just works. I'm sure they won't cast anybody who doesn't have any experience in acting, but apparently they're quite happy to do so. So if you look like Prince William, sound a little bit like him, this could be the breakthrough role for you. And then you could become making history on this day. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.